Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। यशोदा नंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तिरवन चारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तिरवन चारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपादा, जय प्रभुपादा, जय प्रभुपादा, जय प्रभुपादा। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय।
Jai.
प्रणाम माता
Thank
जी।
you. Pranams, pranam. Thank you, Hare Hari Bol, Rohini Mataji. It was wonderful kirtan. And Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Archana Mataji, Divya Mataji, Navkishori Mataji, Sindhu Mataji,
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
Krishna Murthy Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
Hare Krishna. So those who can start their video, please start. That would be nice. So we will start today's class now. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठकी। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we have to do Canto 4, Chapter 23, Shlokas 17 and 18. Today we have been allocated 2 shlokas, 17 and 18, and you have completed till 16 in last class, right? Okay.
Yes,
So this is Canto 4, Chapter 23. And this chapter is related to, what are we studying in this chapter?
Ritu Maharaj going back to Godhead.
Going back to Godhead, yes. Okay. So we are going to start 4.23.17. Let's start. Indriyeshu. You can recite after me. Indriyeshu. Manastani. Tanmatreshu. Haribol. Mataji, you said something?
No, we have to start from 16, I heard you saying. 17, is it?
17, not 16, 17 and 18.
Okay.
Tanmatreshu
Tanmatreshu
yathodbhavam
yathodbhavam
bhutadi
bhutadi
nam anyutkrishya
namanyutkrishya
mahatyatmani
mahatyatmani
sandhade
sandade
indriyeshu manastani
indriyeshu manastani
tanmatreshu yathodbhavam
tanmatreshu yadodbhavam
भूतादिनामुन्युत्कृष्य
bhutadin
Utkrishya
महत्यात्मनि सन्धदे
mahatyatmani
इन्द्रियेषु मनस्तानि
indriyeshu manastani
तन्मात्रेषु यथोद्भवम्
tanmatreshu yatodbhavam
भूतादिनामन्युत्कृष्य
bhutadinamuni prasriyukta
महत्यात्मनि सन्धदे
mahatyatmani sandate.
Okay, who would like to recite the shloka?
Shall I, Mataji?
Sure, Mataji, please go ahead.
Indriyeshu manastani tanmatreshu yathodbhavam bhutadinamuniyukkrishya mahatatmani sandadi.
Sandade Haribol.
Sandadi. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, can you read the word meaning and translation as well?
Yes, Mataji. Synonyms. Indriyeshu, in the sense organs. Manaha, the mind. Tani, the sense organs. Tat matreshu, in the object of sense. Yatha udbhavam, wherefrom they generated. Bhuta adina, by the 5 elements. Amuni, all those sense objects. Utkrishya, taking out. Mahati, in the Mahat Tattva, Atmani, unto the ego, Sandadi, amalgamated. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He amalgamated the mind with the senses and the senses with the sense objects according to the respective position, and he also amalgamated the material ego with the total material energy, Mahat Tattva. Hare Krishna, Mataji, pranams.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. So in this shloka, because in this chapter we are studying how Prithu Maharaj goes back to Godhead, right? So you must have studied how he's following one particular uh, way, which is Paddhati, Yoga Paddhati, right? Ashtanga Yoga Paddhati he is following. And he's taking all the austerities, and then he is doing sphere austerities, controlling so that he could control all his senses. And then now he's completely ready. He has got complete control on his material desires, and he's now ready to leave his body. So now what he's doing, he amalgamated the mind with the senses. This is almost the last step. He amalgamated the mind with the senses and the senses with the sense objects according to their respective positions. And he also amalgamated the material ego with the total material energy, Mahat Tattva. So that means everything is ultimately amalgamated into Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is like we can say, this is the first principle of creation, right? Mahat Tattva is the first principle of creation. And what is the cause? Everything is amalgamated into that cause. Okay. So this is little technical. We will read the purport and then we'll continue discussing. Who will like to read the purport?
May I read, Mataji?
Okay, Mataji. Archana Mataji, please.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. In respect to the ego, the total material energy is surrendered into two parts. One agitated by the mode of ignorance and the other agitated by the modes of passion and goodness. Due to agitation by the mode of ignorance, the five gross elements are created. Due to agitation by mode of passion, the mind is created. And due to agitation by mode of goodness, false egoism or identification with matter is created. The mind is protected by a particular type of demigod. Sometimes the mind, manaha, is also understood to have a controlling deity or demigod. In this way, the total mind, namely the material mind controlled by material demigods, was amalgamated with senses. The senses, in turn, were amalgamated with the sense object. The sense objects are forms, taste, smell, sound, etc. Sound is the ultimate source of the sense object. The mind was attracted by the senses and the senses by sense object, and all of them were ultimately amalgamated in the sky. The creation is so arranged that cause and effect follows one after the other. The merging process involves amalgamating the effect with the original cause. Since the ultimate cause is the material world, in the material world is the Mahat Tattva, everything was gradually wound up and amalgamated with the Mahat Tattva. This may be compared to Sunyavada or voidism, but this is the process for cleansing the real spiritual mind or consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Haribol. So this is the first paragraph. We will read the second paragraph little later. So in this paragraph, actually Prabhupada has explained in very brief manner the process of creation. This is technical, this is complicated, but what is important for us to understand that, like, for example, A, B, C, D, E, F, these are the steps of process of creation. Now, when Prithu Maharaj is going back to Godhead, he is following the process of Ashtanga Yoga. While doing Ashtanga Yoga, the yogi becomes so perfect that he can decide everything. The method, how he is going to leave his body, the time and the place, everything. So now he is going back from F to E to D to C to B to A. Like everything had started and everything is now winding up. So Prabhupada explains in one of his lectures that just like, this is an analogy he gives, that just like when we take loan from the bank, right? We have some desire, we want to buy a house, we want to buy a car, we want to go on vacation. We have some material desire and we go to bank and we take a loan. Okay, we enjoy with that money and now we have to repay that loan, right? It's not that we can keep that money with us. There is a payback. So there is a winding up process. Similarly, here, everything is created from Mahat Tattva. From Mahat Tattva, there is a proper process that from Mahat Tattva, Ahankar is generated. Then Ahankar is of three types, Tamasic, Rajasic, and Vekarik, right? So from Vekarik, the good mode of goodness falls, the Ahankar, which is from mode of goodness, the mind is created. The Ahankar, which is from mode of passion, we have 5 knowledge senses and 5 working senses. And then we have 5 sense objects and 5 elements, right? So this is how the creation happens. But now what is happening? He amalgamated his mind into senses. What are the 5 senses? Do you remember the 5 senses? Which are our 5 senses?
Eyes, nose.
Yeah. Eyes,
Primary.
nose.
Yeah.
Eyes, nose, tongue,
Tongue,
ears.
ears, and
Ears and skin.
skin. Yeah.
Skin. So these are our 5 senses. So the mind is merged with these 5 senses, and 5 senses are merged with the sense objects. Which are the sense objects? What are the 5 sense objects? For eye, the
Touch,
sense,
Mataji, sound,
see, sound,
sight,
Sound, see, smell, touch.
smell. Yeah.
smell, touch, sound, form,
Yes, Mataji.
okay, and touch. So these are the 5. Form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. These are the 5 sense objects. Out of this, which one came first? Which is the first one, the first sense object?
Sound.
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 Sound is the first one. Sound is the subtle quality of the sky. So from sound comes the sky, right? This is how now sense objects and 5 elements are also related. So then the sky, from sky comes touch. Okay. So from touch comes air. From air comes, yes, air comes form. From form comes fire. From fire comes taste. Taste is water. Taste is the subtle quality of the water. Then after water, there is smell, and the smell is the subtle quality of the earth. So there are 5 elements, and every element, so the first is sky, then is air, then is fire, then is water, then is earth. So every subsequent element contains the quality of the previous one. So earth has all the 5 qualities: form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. So this is how the creation happened, and now everything he is able to amalgamate, and then ultimately he is able to amalgamate his false ego into the Mahat Tattva, into the total material energy, Mahat Tattva. Okay, so this is the whole process. But if you remember the previous shlokas, especially the shloka number 6, do you think Ashtanga Yoga is easy or difficult?
So difficult, Mataji.
Difficult for this age, Mataji, Kali.
For very, very difficult. Can you remember any difficulty which you have already studied in previous sessions?
Yes,
How
Mataji,
do you
there are so many chakras involved.
Yes.
So many, the meditation process itself, if you see, it's like so many, what to say,
The meditation process is very difficult. Then opening of chakra, then control of breath. Yes. And then do you remember then in shloka number 6, it is mentioned that as per the principles of living in forest, he was bearing the 5 heating process during the summer. The king, during the summer, he was standing in the 5 type of Agni. During the winter, he was standing in ice cold water up to neck. During the rain, he was standing in the rain, right? Torrents of rain during the rainy season. So that means he was giving extreme austerity to his body so that he can control his senses. So sense control is not so easy. It is so difficult. So is it possible for us, viable for us? Not at all. There is no scope for people like us, not at all. We cannot even sit into 5 minutes if the electricity goes, if the power goes off, how bad like such a bad situation becomes that it is difficult for us to breathe also. So how we can take up all these austerities? So then what is recommended for us?
Bhakti, devotion.
Devotion.
Chanting, Mataji, chanting.
Chanting, yes. Devotion is recommended for us. And that too in a very sublime way, Lord Chaitanya has told us. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
So let's read the second paragraph where Prabhupada is propagating the same thing. So who will read the second paragraph? Krishnamurti Prabhu, आप पढ़ेंगे?
Oh, please. Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Pranams,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Pranam Prabhu.
When the mind is completely washed of all material contamination, the pure consciousness acts. The sound vibration from the spiritual sky can automatically cleanse all material contaminations, as confirmed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaito Darpanam Arjanam. We need only take the advice of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and chant the Hare Krishna mantra to cleanse the mind of all material contamination. And this may be considered the summary of this difficult verse. As soon as the whole material contamination is washed away by this process of chanting, all desires and reactions to material activities become immediately vanquished, and real life, peaceful existence begins. In this age of Kali, it is very difficult to adapt the yogic process mentioned in this verse. Unless one is very expert in such yoga, the best course is to adopt the ways and means of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Thus, one can gloriously become freed from all material contamination by the simple process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just as life in the material world has its beginning in material sound, similarly a spiritual life has its beginning in the spiritual sound vibration. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. The last line is so important and so easy. Just as life in this material world has its beginning in material sound. Just now we discussed that the first sense object is sound. So the beginning of this material world is in material sound. Similarly, the beginning of spiritual life is in spiritual sound vibration. And that spiritual sound vibration is Hare Krishna, right? That is the spiritual sound vibration. And Prabhupada says, this is the summary, or this may be considered as the summary of this difficult verse. Actually, this verse is very difficult, very technical, but we have to focus on the summary, on the crux of the verse, that we need not to think about the whole material creation. We know that sound is the beginning of whole creation. So similarly, in the spiritual life also, it starts when we start uttering the spiritual sound vibration, and that is very simple. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And this mantra has been given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says in his Shikshashtakam, Cheto Darpan Marjanam, that this Harinam Sankirtan, what can it do? It can do 7 qualities it has mentioned in that paragraph. The first is Cheto Darpan Marjan. It will clear our heart. The mirror of our heart will be cleansed with this Harinam. And actually, our heart is not clean. That is whole material contamination. When the heart will be clean, the whole material contamination will finish. We will be above the 3 modes of material nature. We will be free from all the vikaras, right? So how we can have this now cleansing of our heart? Just by chanting the spiritual sound vibration, the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And when we are free from the material contamination, we can also go back to Godhead, like Maharaja Prithu. But Maharaja Prithu, because he is Shaktivesh Avatar, he has the capability, he can follow the Ashtanga Yoga path, but we cannot follow. We are not expert in Ashtanga Yoga. We don't have the tolerance to follow this. We cannot endure it. We cannot practice it. So for us, very, very easy method, very sublime method. Sola Mala, 16 rounds we have to do. Prabhupada says daily you have to do 16 rounds qualitatively with full attention, and we will go back to Godhead. Hari Bol. Okay?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So, Ji Prabhu.
Mataji, what we are experiencing daily by chanting. So what it has told very perfect manner. So it will helps us to be always in Krishna consciousness. So
that is the perfect way, Prabhu. That is the perfect way.
Nice.
Even if we are struggling in chanting, because we are all material beings, right? We are all living in material world. We are materially contaminated. We have so many disturbances, distraction around us.
Yes.
Maybe we are not doing it.
I heard one saying, Mataji, there is struggling in chanting is better than struggling to get again species in one of the 84 lakh species.
Very wonderful. Yes. Prabhupada used to say it is better to struggle while doing chanting than to struggle in the cycle of birth and death.
Hare Krishna
So
Mataji.
we might be struggling. It's okay. Don't pay your attention towards struggle. Pay your attention that you are doing 16 rounds, and tomorrow you will do better than what you are doing today. Just take shelter of Prabhupada, just take shelter of Krishna, just take shelter of Gurudev, and say that please have mercy on me. You bestow your mercy on me, and tomorrow I shall be able to do this 16 rounds in much better way than what I am doing today. And you will see we don't have any qualification. We don't have any capability. So just by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada, we will be able to do 16 rounds without any offense. Shuddha Naam. Okay? Hari Bol. Any question here? Any realization? Anybody wants to say anything? Okay, otherwise we'll go to the next one, 4.23.18. Okay, let's go to the next one. Tam Sarva Guna
Tam Sarva Guna
Vinyasam Jive Mayamaye Nayadhat Tam Chanushyamatma
Chanushyamatma
Atmastha
Atmasabhava.
Asavanushyayi
Asavanushyayi.
Puman.
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 Jnana Vairagya
Jnana Vairagya.
Viryayin
Viryena.
Swarupastho
Swarupastho.
Ajahat Prabhu.
Ajat Prabhu.
Tam Sarvaguna Vinyasam
Tam Sarvaguna Vinyasam.
Jive Mayamaena Yadha
Jive Mayamayenyada.
Chanushyamatmastham
Tam Chanushayamamastam.
Asavanushyayi Puman.
Asavanushayyi Puman.
ज्ञानवैराग्यवीर्येण
Jnana-vairagya-viryena.
स्वरूपस्थो जहात् प्रभुः
Swarupastho jahat Prabhu.
तं सर्वगुणविन्यासम्
Tam sarvaguna vinyasam.
देवी मायामयेन यथा
Jive mayamayenyada.
तं चानुशयमात्मस्थम्
Tam chanushayam-atmastam.
असावनुषयी पुमान्
Asavanushayyi Puman.
ज्ञानवैराग्यवीर्येण
Jnana-vairagya-viryena.
स्वरूपस्थो जहात् प्रभुः
Swarupastho jahat Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Who would like to recite the shloka?
I'll recite, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Tam sarvaguna-vinyasam jive maya-maye nyadat tam chanushayam-atmastam anushai puman jnana-vairagya-viryena swarupasto jagat prabhu. Translation.
Mataji, read the word meanings and then translation.
Synonyms. Tam, unto
Yes.
him. Sarva guna vinyasam, the reservoir of all qualities. Jive, unto the designations. Maya Mai, the reservoir of all potencies. Nyadat, place. Tam, that. Cho, also. Anushayam, designation. Atmastam, situated in self-realization. Asav, he. Anushayi, the living entity. Puman, the enjoyer. Jnana, knowledge. Vairagya, renunciation. Viryena, by the prowess of. Swarupastha, being situated in one's constitutional position. Ajahat, returned home. Prabhu, the controller. Translation and purport by Divine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prithvi Maharaja then offered the total designation of the living entity into the supreme controller of illusory energy. Being released from all the designations by which the living entity became entrapped, he became free by knowledge and renunciation and by the spiritual force of his devotional service. In this way, being situated in his original constitutional position of Krishna consciousness, he gave up this body as a Prabhu or controller of the senses. Purport.
Haribol. Wait, Mataji. Haribol, Hare Krishna. So this verse is also complicated. This verse is also difficult. We will focus on the translation. How? Because there are some words which are very important here. Like, for example, Sarva Guna Vinyasam. The Lord is described as the reservoir of all qualities. He is Mayamay. He is the reservoir of all potencies. And then what about us? We have material designations. The living entity, we have material designations through which we are entrapped. Okay. And then how he got free? Through Gyan Vairagya and his bhakti. Okay. And then we have another word is Swarupastha. What is our constitutional position? Okay. And now what happened? Let us understand in the last shloka, what we studied, that he sense objects, senses, mind merged into intelligence into living entity. And now he is giving up all his material designations, and he is merging the living entity into the supreme controller in the super soul, right? And this is how he is able to free himself from all the material designation. And as a Prabhu, as the controller of all the senses, as the controller of the body, he is able to give up his body as and when he wanted, and he has attained his original constitution position. Okay. So we will study the purport. Prabhupada has explained every word very nicely, and then we will do further discussion. So who would like to read the purport? We can divide it into different parts and read the purport. Who would like to read the purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Giridhar Gopal Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As stated in the Vedas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of material energy. Consequently, he is sometimes called Maya, or the Supreme Person who can create his pastimes through his potency, known as the material energy. The Jiva, or the individual living entity, becomes entrapped by the material energy by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 18.61, we understand Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayam Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudani Mayaya. Ishvara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is situated within the heart of all conditional souls, and by his supreme will, the living entity or individual soul gets the facility to lord it over material energy in various types of bodies, which are known as yantra, or the moving vehicle offered by the total material energy, Maya. Although the individual living entity, Jiva, and the Lord are both situated within the material energy, the Lord is directing the movements of the Jiva soul by offering him different types of bodies through the material energy, and thus the living entity is wandering throughout the universes in various forms of body and becomes implicated in different situations, partaking of the reactions of fruitive activities.
Hari Bol. Prabhu,
Shall
we
I-
will stop here. Yeah.
Yes.
So we will stop here. So Prabhupada has first explained the word Mayamaya. If you go back to the shloka, can you see Mayamaya in the first line? Tam sarva guna vinyasam jive Mayamaya nadyad. Mayamaya. So this is one of the address to Lord. We call Lord is also called as Mayamaya because he is the master of the Maya, right? Maya is the material energy. We just studied in last shloka that the total material energy is Mahat Tattva. And who is the source of Mahat Tattva? Lord himself. So he is the source of this material energy. Material energy is one of the energies of the Lord. We know he has superior energy, he has inferior energy. We are the superior energy and Maya is the inferior energy, right? And material energy is one of the energy of the Lord, and that energy is called Maya. And he's the energy of the Lord. Lord is the Swami of that energy, so he's called Mayamaya. Okay, but that doesn't mean that he's entrapped with this Maya. He's above this Maya, but he's the master of this Maya, right? And Jiva, we are the superior energy. Though we are the superior energy, but we also get entrapped by this material energy by the supreme will of the Lord. Because he wishes, he has this will, and we get entrapped. And it is not that he wants us to be entrapped, because we are doing due to desire. How we come into this material world? Ichha dvesh samuthathen. So due to our desires, we come into this material world. Okay, because we have the desires, that is why we come into this world. And once we come into this world, then we continue this cycle due to our dualities. Okay, our dualities of love and hate, like and dislike, rag, dvesh. Due to that, our cycle continues. Okay, and that supreme personality of Godhead, he's situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, as Ishwar, right? We know that there are two birds sitting on the tree. You know this analogy, right? Two birds sitting on the tree. What is the tree? What is the tree?
Tree is the material desires, material things around us, Mataji.
Material body. This material body is the tree.
Yes.
In this tree, they are sitting two birds. And here, this material body is called as yantra. Prabhupada is giving a reference to 18.61 from Bhagavad Gita, that we are getting various types of body. The living entity is accepting different type of bodies as per his karmas, as per his desires, right? And the Lord, what is he doing? He's facilitating, because you desire so I'll facilitate an appropriate body for you. Okay. So this body, now this material body is a vehicle. Just like you sit in the car and then you go somewhere. It is a vehicle for you to move, right? So you sit in the car and then you move from point A to point B. So this is a vehicle for you to move. Similarly, the soul is moving. The vehicle of the soul is this body, right? So it is the soul is operating through this body, and this moving vehicle is offered by Maya. This is made up of 5 material elements. So this is made by Maya. Both of them are situated inside this. In our heart, we have Atma, we have Paramatma, but there is difference between the activities. The Lord is directing the movement of Atma. Okay, and he is giving him different bodies as per his desires, as per his karmas, and this is how living entity is moving from one body to another body throughout the universe and throughout the universes, and he's making his journey very, very complicated because he is enjoying the fruits, sukha dukha. He is eating the fruits of his karmas, which is sukh and dukh. He's sitting on the tree and he's very busy eating the fruits. He's not looking towards the super soul, towards the Paramatma. Though he wants us to take back to Golok, but we are not interested in looking towards him. We are just busy having our enjoyment. Okay, so this is Maya Maya and Ishvara. Now let's see the next paragraph. Who will read the next paragraph? Rohini Mataji, would you like to read?
Am I audible, Mataji? There's an issue
Yes,
with my...
yes. We can hear you.
When Prithu Maharaj became spiritually powerful by the enhancement of his spiritual knowledge, jnana, and renunciation of material desires, he became a Prabhu, or master of his senses, sometimes called Goswami or Swami. This means that he was no longer controlled by the influence of material energy. When one is strong enough to give up the influence of material energy, he is called Prabhu. In this verse, the word Swarupastha is also very significant. The real identity of the individual soul lies in understanding or attaining the knowledge that he is eternally a servant of Krishna. This understanding is called
Rupopalabdhi.
Swarupopalabdhi. By culturing devotional service, the devotee gradually comes to understand his actual relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This understanding of one's spiritual position is called Swarup Upalabdhi. And one attains that stage, he can understand how he is related with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a servant or friend, or as a parent or a conjugal lover. This stage of understanding is called Swarupastha. Prithu Maharaj realized this Swarupa completely, and it will be clear in the later verses that he personally left this world or this body by riding on a chariot sent from Vaikuntha.
Haribol. So now Prabhupada is explaining the word Prabhu. The last word of this shloka, if you see, is Prabhu. Prabhu means master, right? In ISKCON also you say all the males, they are addressed as Prabhu. What is the meaning of this Prabhu? That you are my master, I am your servant, right? So Prabhu is very, very important. So here Prithu Maharaj has been referred to as Prabhu. Prabhu means he became the master of his body. He controlled his senses completely. When he had complete control of his senses, he was no longer under the influence of Maya, no longer under the influence of 3 modes of material nature. And then he gave up his body, right? And when a person has complete, actually Prabhu means master, and master of what? Master of your own body, master of your own senses. Literally, this means that one should be able to control the senses completely so that he is the master of the body. Master of the body does not mean that I am the owner of the body. You become the master when you are the controller of your body, when you are controller of your senses. So Prabhu is not a small word, which we think is very, very easy because we always address each other as Prabhu. But Prabhu means Goswami, one who has complete control of the senses, complete control of the body, one who completely realizes what is my constitutional position. And what is our constitutional position? What is our Swarup?
Jivera
Swarupa hai Krishnera Nityadas.
Krishna Nityadas. Jivera Swarupa hoy Krishnera Nityadas. So one who understands this, that is understanding is called Swarup Uplabdhi. That now I understand what is my Swarup. what is my constitutional position. And that can come only when you control your senses, when you raise above the level of your body. Till we are absorbed at our body level, we cannot understand that I am the servant of Krishna. I might say, I might repeat, which we are doing, but we don't have that understanding completely, because till we are absorbed in this bodily level, we will not be able to understand. Okay. So this understanding is Swarup Upalabdhi. And how this understanding can be developed? By devotional service. Okay. So when we are engaged in the devotional service, we will understand that I am not the body, I am the soul. Nothing belongs to me. Everything is for Krishna. Everything has to be utilized in the service of Krishna for the pleasure of Krishna. Right? So that is why Prabhupada has stressed so much on loving devotional service. We have to engage ourselves in loving devotional service, not only in lip service. By hands, we have to do the seva. See, it is said that, like, for example, if one person does puja, what is he called? Pujari, right? One person, he is very good in studying Vedas. He is called Ved Pathi, right? One person is very good in Karma Kand. He is called Karma Kandi. So there is word for everyone. One person is very good in speaking the pravachan. He is called Vakta. There is a word for every person. We don't say Bhakt. One who is expert in puja, we don't say he is Bhakt. One who is good in speaking, expert in speaking, we don't say he is Bhakt. Yes, Sindhu Mataji, do you want to say something? You raised your hand. Okay. So that means we have to understand that Bhakt is different from all these people. These people are expert in their area. One is good in puja, one is good in speaking. They can do very good katha, very good pravachan. Krishna katha they can do. But it doesn't mean that he might be bhakt. Bhakti comes only when we are doing, when the dhatu of bhakti is bhaj, bhajan, bhajana. And what is bhaj? Bhaj means the seva. Prabhupada translates bhaj as service. So loving devotional service is very, very important. And when we engage ourselves in loving devotional service, slowly, not only our understanding, not only it is that we are understanding our constitution position, we reach to that stage also. So first is the understanding, which is theoretical knowledge, and then is achieving the stage, which is the practical application. How do we now get the practical application? By getting engaged in the loving devotional service. And slowly, we start exchanging our relationship with Krishna in one of the 5 rasas. All of you know the 5 rasas? The Shantaras, the Dasyaras, the Sakyaras, the Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. So when we engage in the devotional service, maybe we don't know what is our ras with Krishna. We are just doing the service. But with the mercy of Krishna, with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, with the mercy of our Guru Maharaj, slowly we get established in one of the rasa with Krishna. Maybe we see him as our son in Vatsalya Bhav. We see him as our master, the Dasya Bhav, or we see him as our friend, the Sakya Bhav. Okay? So, when we establish ourselves when we start serving him in 5 of the rasas, this is like now we are relishing that ras. Now we are relishing the ras, and now we are establishing ourselves in the swarup of our constitutional position. So with this whole process, Prithu Maharaj realized this swarup completely, and he left his body. And Prabhupada says that in the following verses, in the subsequent verses, we will see that actually a chariot came from Vaikuntha, and he sat in that chariot and he went. But for us, doing all this Ashtanga Yoga is not possible. Doing all this thing is not possible. For us, there is only one simple way, which has been told to us by Lord Chaitanya and which by Srila Prabhupada. We have to chant our 16 rounds attentively, daily. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So you see, all the difficult processes, we will be getting the same fruit which the sages and the yogis, they have got by all these difficult process. Maharaj Prithu, he was not only number 1, it is written, by the enhancement of his spiritual knowledge. That means he was a Jnani. Then he was an Ashtanga yogi. But at the same time, if you see the translation, Prabhupada clearly says, by the spiritual force of his devotional service, and he was following the path of bhakti. If he was not following the path of bhakti, only by gyan and renunciation, he could not have reached this position. But he was following the path of bhakti as well. So that is why he has been called as Prabhu, because he is the controller of his body. Even in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, this body is also called Prabhu. Krishna has told this body as Prabhu. Okay? Sorry, not the body, the living entity, the Atma as Prabhu. He is the controller of the body, because the body is the material, is made up of material element, but the living entity is the master of this body, and the living entity is the controller. He should be able to control the senses and the body. Okay? Let's continue with the next one. Who will read the next paragraph?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I?
Ji, okay, Mala Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In this verse, the word Prabhu is also significant. As stated before, when one is completely self-realized and acts according to that position, he is called Prabhu. The spiritual master is addressed as Prabhupada because he is a completely self-realized soul. The word pada means position, and Prabhupada indicates that he is given the position of Prabhu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for he acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is a Prabhu or controller of the senses, he cannot act as a spiritual master who is authorized by the Supreme Prabhu, or Lord Krishna. In his verses, praising the spiritual master, Srila Vishwanatha Chakrabarti Thakur writes, Sakshat Direpvena Samasta Sastre Yuktas Tatapavayata Eva Sadbi. The spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. Thus, Prithu Maharaj can also be called Prabhupada, or as described herein, Prabhu. Another question may be raised in this connection. Since Prithu Maharaj was a power incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shakti Avesha Avatar, why did he have to execute the regulative principles in order to become a Prabhu? Because he appeared on this earth as an ideal king, and because it is the duty of the king to instruct the citizens in the execution of devotional service, he followed all the regulative principles of devotional service in order to teach others. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although Krishna himself, taught us how to approach Krishna as a devotee. It is said, Apani Achari Bhakti Sikhenu Sabare. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed others in the process of devotional service by setting the example himself through his own personal actions. Similarly, Prithu Maharaj, although a Shakti Avesh avatar incarnation, still behaved exactly as a devotee in order to achieve the position of a Prabhu. Furthermore, Swarupastaha means complete liberation. As it is said, Bhagavatam 2.10.6, Hitvanyata Rupam Swarupena Vyavastitahi. When a living entity abandons the activities of Maya and attains the position from which he can execute devotional service, his state is called Swarupastaha, or complete liberation. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. So Prabhupada explains further the word Prabhu, Prabhupada, and Swarupastha. So Prabhu is controller, and Prabhupada ji is called Prabhupada. Prabhupada is a designation. It is given to a guru, and Prabhu is controller, and Pad means position, that he has the position of the controller. And who is the supreme controller? The supreme controller is the God. And Guru is considered as the controller. That means we are giving Guru the same position as Bhagwan. Why? Because he is acting on behalf of Supreme Personality of Godhead. We cannot see Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that Krishna acts within and without. Within our heart, he acts as the super soul, and without, he acts through our Guru, through our spiritual master. So spiritual master acts on the behalf of Krishna, and that is why he is given the position of Prabhupada. But who can get this position? Who has complete control on his senses, one who is a completely self-realized soul. Only that person can be called a Prabhupada, or he can be given this designation. And Prabhupada was given this designation because he was a completely self-realized soul, right? And then there is this very famous verse from Guru Ashtakam. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written the Guru Ashtakam, which is sung as Mangal Aarti in all the ISKCON temples in the morning. You have been to Mangal Aarti? Sansara Dava. Yes.
Samsaradava.
नडिनलोकात्रनयकारुण्य गण गण त्वं प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणनवर्त्य वन्दे गुरुं श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
So Vande Guru Shri Charnaravindam. We are worshipping the lotus feet of the Guru. Every day morning the Mangal Aarti is to glorify the Guru, right? Anybody remembers the 7th paragraph? Sakshat Dharitve.
साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रै युक्तस्तदा भाव्यत एव सद्भिः किन्तु प्रभो या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे
यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन् सुवं तस्य यतसन्ध्याम् वन्दे गुरुं श्रीचरणरविन्दम्.
Hari Bol. Thank you for singing both the paragraphs, because there are 8 paragraphs of this Guru Ashtakam, and this last 2, this is the crux of the whole devotional service, our whole devotional service. In chapter 2, Prabhupada says in the purport of 2.49 that Shraddha means unflinching faith in your Guru. One liner we have to remember. We unflinching faith in our Guru. And the 7th paragraph, Sakshat Dharitven Samasta Shastrin, that Guru contains all Samasta Shastrin, whatever is the Vedic literature, everything is held by, it is contained by Guru. And he should be honored as much as the Supreme Lord. Why? Because he is the confidential servitor of the Lord. We directly cannot know what are the activities of Krishna, what are the activities of Radha Krishna. But our Guru, because the whole Guru Ashtakam tells the confidential services which Guru is doing. Okay, he is going into the Gopaniya Leela, the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and there he is serving them. So he is the confidential servitor of the Lord. Therefore, in our heart, we should have the same reverence and same honor for our Guru what we have for Radha and Krishna. So this is the crux of our devotional service. And the last paragraph is wonderful. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasad. When he's happy, Krishna is happy with us. Yasya aprasadan. But if he is not happy, we have no place to go to in the whole universe. In all the 3 lokas, we don't have any place to go to if our Guru is not happy due to our actions. So our wholly solely, our summum bonum should be to make our Guru satisfied with our services. This is the crux of our devotional service. Okay, so Prabhupada is the Guru, and our Guru is Prabhupada. We know our Param Guru is Prabhupada. Guru, our Guru Maharaj, they are all self-realized soul. So without any doubt, without fail, we should serve our Gurus with mansa vacha karmana, with all possible strength, we should serve our Gurus. Okay, so now Prabhupada says there is a question. Prithu Maharaj is a Shaktivish avatar of Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So then why he is doing this? Why he is doing devotional service? That means Krishna himself is serving himself, right? Krishna is doing his own
to act as a role model to all the others, Mataji. He is a king.
Yes.
So whatever he does, the followers will also yatyat acharati shrestha.
Tat eve taro jana. Very good. Yes. Just to keep as a role model, just to keep present it as an example in front of the common people, he did all this devotional service. He followed all the regulative principles in the devotional service. He did all the austerities. Because he wanted to teach people this is the way you have to attain perfection in your life. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also did the same. He was Krishna himself, but he was doing kirtan. He was dancing in front of Rath Yatra, right? He was completely absorbed. He had Mahabhav in bhakti, but he was Krishna himself. But because he wanted to teach bhakti to the people of Kali Yuga, he taught by example. So Prithu Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these are the examples in front of us. They have set the example. Through their personal actions, they have taught us how we have to do the bhakti, right? So Swarupastha means we all have to understand that our Swarup is to become the servant of the Krishna. And how we can become servant of Krishna? By doing the devotional service, seva karke. And how we can do seva? There are 9 forms of seva. Kirtanam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Dasyam, Atma Nivedanam. We can choose any one form which is like, which we like or which goes with our personality, which we feel happy. Anyone we can choose. But if you see what Prabhupada has given us, like get up in the morning, do the Mangalarti, then do the chanting, then read the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and then the evening read the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, it contains all the 9 processes. It has everything. It has Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Bhog lagana hai, Aarti karna hai. It contains everything. So that means during the day, but a standard process Prabhupada has described for his disciples. If we follow that, we are following all the 9 processes and we are serving Krishna by 9 processes. So we are engaged in the devotional service automatically. We don't have to think somewhere out of the box how I can serve Krishna. It is embedded in the program, in the method which Prabhupada has given us. So we just have to close our eyes, follow what Prabhupada has told us. We have to follow that through senior devotees, through acharyas, through our gurus, and definitely we are serving Krishna, and that is the highest perfection of the life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. So any question, any realization, anybody wants to say anything? So we need not to follow the path of Karma Yoga. We need not to follow the path of Jnana Yoga. We need not to follow the path of Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. We simply have to chant and follow the path of Bhakti. It has been made so easy for Kali Yuga people. Otherwise, in Satyug, Dwapar Yug, Treta Yug, everybody has to undergo difficult austerities. They had to undergo all this difficult path. But in Kali Yuga, it is so much easy.
Mataji, Prithvi Maharaja also, though he practiced, all the chakras, everything, but finally his success was Bhakti Yoga only, right?
Bhakti Yoga only, yes. Actually, those people were going through the yoga ladder. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. But in Kali Yuga, if we start going up the ladder of yoga ladder, if we start going up, we will never reach even the first step. So that is why it has been directly recommended. We have to go to Harinam chanting, Bhakti Yoga. Because other than Bhakti Yoga, there is no path of perfection, for sure. All other yogas can lead us to Bhakti Yoga, but not to the perfection.
Yes, Mataji, the purport is excellent actually. I have to read it fully.
Actually, purports are long and there are verses are also difficult, and therefore Prabhupada has written long purports.
Too technical, yeah.
Yes, too technical. Read the purport once again. And it is very, very beautiful, but yes, it is technical. But read them once again, because ultimately the crux is we have to engage ourselves in devotional service, we have to chant, and we have to follow the regulative principle. That is the whole crux. We don't have to distract from this part. We can read other technicalities, we can try to understand everything, but we don't have to distract from the main part. Okay, so anybody else wants to share anything or any question? So we have completed today's shloka 17 and 18. So then I would like to wind up the class, okay? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna Mama. Jai. Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.